Despite COVID-19 concerns shutting down much of the area, Election Day went on as usual, with the big winner in Illinois being former Vice President Joe Biden. And joining us this morning is Stephen Caliendo. He is the professor of political science at North Central College. Thank you so much for coming on our show here. Good Day, Chicago.
Good morning, Anita. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. Well, this morning we're talking about the impact of the coronavirus, and it really did seem to impact voter turnout. A lot of people very concerned about social distancing. They were concerned about the machines being cleaned, and some people thought that Illinois should have pushed back that primary. What do you think?
Yeah, I think there was a lot of concern about that, and I think it's reasonable people can disagree, but I'm sure it was a difficult call. In the states like Ohio, who did it, they made it about the social distancing, and the states that decided, I think there was an attention to that, but to say we don't know when it's going to be, when we're going to get the all clear, maybe some time away. But I think that we'll continue to have conversations about whether that was the right thing. And one thing is for sure, voter turnout in person was down among all three states that voted yesterday.
Well, Biden won Illinois pretty handily. What do you think that played a role in that at all?
It's hard to say. You know, so many people vote early. That was the case. I mean, even though Illinois voter turnout was lower than it was 4 years ago, in Florida and Arizona it was both up, but it was mostly because of early voting. And so, you know, we can get those numbers about who voted early and who voted in person, but it's hard to not think that there was some effect. Whether or not it benefited one candidate or the other, it's hard to say. You know, Bernie talks a lot about a movement and bringing in people to the process that weren't there before. And so if we know that it's not a random selection of people who chose to stay home yesterday, we certainly can make some inferences about the results as well.
Speaking of Bernie Sanders, is this the end for him, or should he pack it up and wrap it up, or do you think he still plugs ahead?
Yeah, no, I mean, he's not going to take any political advice from me, but I know that his team is huddling this morning. They've got to think, and I would say that the coronavirus situation has got to weigh on them. That is, if there's not a clear path forward, the delegate count certainly isn't insurmountable in terms of mathematics, but there's momentum at stake, there's fundraising, and now with the coronavirus, at some point the pressure is going to come, number one, to unify the Democratic Party, but also to try to get people to stay home and to not go to the polls in the states that are coming up in the next few weeks. Okay,
well, before we let you go, I want to ask you really quickly about the state's attorney's race here in Illinois. Of course, the Democratic winner in the Cook County State's Attorney's Office, Kim Foxx, very handily beating her challenger, Bill Conway. Any surprise there?
I don't know that it was a surprise. You know, there was a lot of money spent on both sides for a state's attorney's race, and clearly the high-profile cases, particularly the Smollett case, was part of the calculus on both sides of this race, or on multiple sides of this race. And so I don't know that I'd call it a huge surprise. She had a lot of support from various constituencies, but it'll be interesting to see moving forward how she operates, if she thinks about her job any differently as a result of all this pressure.
Okay, professor of political science at North Central College, Stephen Caliendo, I want to thank you this morning for joining us and giving us your perspective on this.
Thank you. Thank you. It's good to see you.
All right, you too.